Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk about the word authentic. Um, that word is being used a lot these days, just in general. Also, I feel like in the coaching world, people are working with coaches where they are really working on being more authentic. So just to start off, just off the bat, there is first of all nothing wrong with the word, nor working with a coach for it. Um, I just want to share my perspective around the word authentic. Um, so maybe this will hit home for some people, and maybe it won't. But I do just want at the onset to say that there's nothing wrong with the word or us stepping into being more authentic, or anyone that does any coaching around that, or anyone that's receiving coaching around being authentic. The reason, and I did put in the description, like sometimes when I hear that word, because it's so overused now, I really want to puke sometimes. I found myself in a conversation last week with someone on the phone talking about this, and I was pissed off. I was so angry. Not with the person, but just the word authentic. I think she said that she was working on being more of her authentic self, and I just sort of like, it's like, oh my gosh, this has been bothering me for years now. And I really like had to dig deep, honestly, like after I got off the call, and I actually realized it as I was talking with this person. I was like, my God, why am I so triggered, and why does this bother me so much? So it was like in real time I was processing what was going on. And what I realized is that I have the same visceral response when I hear the word organic. And don't get me wrong, I think we should be eating as much organic as possible. If it's your choice, I think we should be eating real food. My issue with the word, I'll get back to the word authentic. My issue with the word organic is like, when did we start saying organic? You know, whenever, 2, 3 decades ago. But I mean, that's just called real food. Let's be honest. Organic food is real food. I'm not even going to go into the whole natural, because when you see natural on a list of ingredients, like I don't know people's definition or companies' definitions. I don't know what that is, to be honest. So, organic, I know, is expensive. Believe me, I understand. Not everyone can do it. I'm not completely all 100% organic. I do as much as I can. And years ago, I started, the one thing that was really important was to have organic eggs. So I started with that. And then I just would add a couple of things, each month into my shopping cart that were organic, that were important for me. So I try to be as organic as possible, but I'm not 100% myself either. I'd like to be. But anyway, going back to organic, I mean, when you're not eating organic, we're not eating real food anymore. It's been compromised. It's been GMO'd. It's not real food like our ancestors ate, like even 80 to 100 years ago. So, I had this issue with the word organic many years ago, and I was like, oh, let's just call organic food food, and let's call everything else like toxic or poison or not good for us, or full of junk, full of chemicals. All right, so back to the word authentic. So that's my little rant on organic, but it ties into the word authentic. When did we stop being authentic? Hi, Sandy. When did we as humans like either stop being authentic, or maybe like a part of us stopped being authentic? When did we start showing up in a different way? So there's this real push now, or not push, but it's a buzzword in the holistic and healing community. I feel authentic, your authentic self. And my question is like, how far off have we gone from that, and why? Really, why? And I mean, I have my own thoughts and I can share some of them with you all. But we are just living in a much faster paced world than ever before. Information literally at our fingertips 24/7, whether it's your phone, your laptop, whatever device, TV, radio, doesn't matter. It's just fast. We're being asked to keep up with so many things. And for me, what I keep gravitating to, because I've experienced this in my own life, is having to work, having to take a job to pay the bills that may not be like my true love and my true passion. So in that regard, when I've had to do that, have I been my authentic self? I've been my authentic self at the job, but I haven't been fully my authentic self because I'm not doing the work that lights me up. And across the board, I think this is where people are really like, whether it's in relationships, it's in relationships too. People are finding that they don't feel that they're maybe fully themselves, fully authentic. And for me, and again, I'm just sharing my thoughts, for me, that's an issue of like feeling safe. Because when you are safe, you can fully show up in relationships and feel seen and loved and accepted. And so, we're, as a society, as a collective, I am not singling anyone out. We may not feel authentic at work sometimes. We may not feel that we can be authentic in relationships. And so we're, navigating in this new world, I think, of tapping into our authentic selves. So that is, again, some people might be struggling with this and others may not be struggling at all. But if you sometimes wake up in the morning or throughout the day and are thinking to yourself, I'm not in my full, I don't even keep using the word authentic for lack of a better word, but I think people are struggling to find what truly makes them happy, what truly brings them joy, like all day long. I'm sure we have moments, we have stretches, we have days, we have weeks, we have months where we feel good and happy. But if you are really struggling with tapping into your authentic self, I would say, it's not, if you've gone so far from what brings you joy, then yes, it's a journey to come back. It most certainly is. So just some questions you can ask yourself is, what brings me joy? What lights me up? What do I enjoy doing? How do I like to spend my time? And, in the course of probably the past 20 years, when I've been doing sessions for people or in like group classwork, this topic has come up of what brings you joy. I can't tell you how many people I heard, mostly women. These classes, that I'm in tend to attract mostly women. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, I don't know what brings me joy. I've lost touch with that. And I can relate to that a little bit. I think I've been lucky enough that I've been able to do work that I love, even though that has been part-time for me. As I mentioned, I've had other work and other jobs to help pay bills, but I have been really blessed to do work that I love. And so when I was in these groups and people were saying, I don't even know anymore, I was like, wow. I wonder when was the last time they felt joy? When was the last time they tapped into something that they love doing? And it doesn't have to be like what you do for work. It doesn't. It can be a hobby. It can be a pastime. It can be reading. It can be doing puzzles. It can be walking or doing some form of exercise. Just what brings you joy. So if you are listening to this and you are having, if this conversation is coming up for you as well, I really would encourage you to go within. You could just spend a couple minutes. You could journal and maybe ask yourself, what did I do when I was little that really brought me joy? I do find that a lot of times what we did when we were little that brought us joy does carry through like our whole life. That thread does carry through. Not always. I mean, maybe like, let's say maybe you played softball when you were younger and you really loved it, but now you don't. So sometimes those things don't always carry through, but I tend to find that like people that love to sing, they're going to sing the rest of their lives. People that really love to dance, they're going to dance their whole life. So it's things like that. Like, what brings you joy? And it's the simple things. Is it cooking? Is it eating? Maybe it's eating. That's fantastic. Like, if you're really struggling for the building blocks of, what brings you joy, I would just keep asking the question. Don't get upset if the answer is not coming. Just keep asking the question. What brings me joy? What brings me joy? What makes me happy? What makes me feel good? Because I think that for me anyway, this taps into our authentic selves, is the things that we experience, whether it's do or receive, that bring us joy, that help us tap into our authentic selves. So I hope that this was helpful for some of you. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And I'm going to do my best not to hurl when I hear the word authentic said again for the umpteenth time. Sorry, I just think it's overused. But I think this will be my last point. What's very clear to me is that we are living in a world that's kind of fake, honestly, kind of fake. And so we're having to keep up with the Joneses still. And there's a lot of hoops that we have to jump through. So yeah, when we feel like we're not authentic sometimes, or we can't be, I would ask, like, do I really need to do this? Do I really need to do X, Y, and Z? And sometimes the answer is yes. Like, you have to do that. You have to drop the kids off here. You have to go here. You have to interact with certain people. You have to do this at work. Yes. Sometimes the answer is yes, I have to do this. So then play with like being authentic as much as possible, knowing that there will be times, there are places where you may not feel comfortable showing up as your authentic self. And I do know that this is a whole nother conversation, because showing up somewhere and being your authentic self, also there's the whole topic of, do I feel safe? Am I accepted? Will they see me? Will they understand me? Or do I have to hide pieces of me? I'm not even going to step into that conversation right now, because that's like another can of worms. But it's just, I think I just wanted to really talk about what brings you joy, especially this time of year. Especially this time of year, we're running around doing a lot of things, and there's a lot of commitments. So see where you can find some joy, see where you can tap into that. And if you ever need some help, not only tapping into that, but also releasing some of the layers that might be in the way, some of the old programming, or the repeating patterns, or the tapes in your head, you can let me, reach out to me. This is the work that I do in session with people. I have a variety of healing techniques and modalities that I use. I work with a pendulum to clear a lot of these things. So it's not even you needing to lay down to receive. It's just clearing patterns, like I said, ancestral patterns sometimes, repeating patterns. For those of you that believe in past lives, like releasing these things that we just keep repeating on automatic that we may not even be aware of, or sometimes we're actually aware of them and we just don't know how to release them. This is the work I do. I love this work, and let me tell you, it is easy, not just for me to do, but for the person receiving. It works very quickly, it's easy, and the results last. So there may be another thing that surfaces after we've cleared the first thing, but there might be another layer or another piece or another issue, yes. But once things are cleared, they're cleared. It's just really, really beautiful. So if you are needing some support this holiday season or any time, please let me know. I will put my link in the bottom for all of the work that I do. And if you are not sure of what you may need, you can do a discovery call with me. We can hop on Zoom and do a 15-minute discovery call. But please know that all of my services right now are priced at the same price for an hour. So regardless of what you pick for 1 hour, you could pick Dragon Reiki, you could pick a transformation session, you could pick a Blueray clearing, and you don't need to know what those are. If you pick a transformation session, but once we start talking, what I think might really benefit you is some Dragon Reiki or some EFT tapping. That's what we're going to do. I just want to let people know that in case they pick a session and they feel like they're locked into that particular session. They're not. I am very fluid in the session. I ask the person what they are interested and want to work on, and then I tap into my tools. So if you've signed up for a Dragon Reiki session with me and that's what you want to do, that's what we do. Absolutely, that's what we do. But if you're not sure, but you just know that you need some support, just pick any session. That's totally fine. You can do the discovery call with me before to figure out what you'd like to do. And if you don't want to do that and you need some help with something, just book a session, and within the first 5 minutes we'll figure out what you need. 5 to 10 minutes, we'll figure that out together. Okay, thanks for watching. I'd love to hear any comments if you'd like to leave them. Hope everyone's having a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.